Yo, how's it going, guys? It's Wildboy Reactions. Coming back with another reactional video. Now, today, we're going to be starting a brand new thing that we've never done before on White Boys. As I said in previous videos, more recently than more recent videos is a better way of putting it. I said I wanted to do some new reaction stuff, some more IRL things. So today I come up with the idea of creating something called Brit Reacts. Okay, as most people know, I'm from Britain, England more specifically. And when I used to stream on Twitch, I stopped streaming about last October to focus on one of my passions. I used to get asked a lot of questions about what British life is like. You know, it's quite I wouldn't say like prospered up, if that makes sense. I mean, like in films and stuff, like Downton Abbey is a perfect example. There's this sort of posh, sort of very well off people, and Britain is an amazing country. It's very, very rich. But you know, I do think that obviously, just like any other films, like when you look at American high school films, it's like all these kids and these girls walking around doing all this other stuff, where probably in real life it's not like that, you know. And same with British. So what I'm going to be doing is kind of just diving into society of Britain, you know, history of Britain, politics of Britain, just all the stuff for British, and just kind of talk about from my own perspective as being a working class British citizen, what it's like, and then kind of falsify, if that's the right word to use. I'm not too sure if that's the right word, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like and tell the truth on that, and if there's false things that are pushed as truth and stuff like that, and just kind of talk about from my own experiences. And then if any people who are British do watch these sort of things, add your own in the comments your own experiences as well. So today on our first video, we're going to be reacting to 20 weird things that only British people do. Now, I've never watched this before. It's 22 minutes long, so it's probably going to be quite a long video. And what we're going to do is we probably won't watch through the whole thing. So there's going to be, I won't remember all 20 things. So what we'll do is we'll let them, I don't know, state whatever they're going to state, and then probably talk about it then on there, and then move on to next. Okay, and I'll try and keep this video as short as we can, but it's definitely going to be 22 minutes long, and probably, obviously, further along from that as well. So it's going to be our first episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. Without further ado, this is Brit Reacts, 20 weird things that apparently we do. So let's see what we got. Let's go. Oh, and then after this, if you guys have any questions about, you know, what we're talking about on here, or just genuine questions about my own experience living in Britain, then please do leave a comment, and I'll try and answer as truthfully and fully as I can. And with everyone else who's from Britain, if you could post your own experiences and stuff like that, it'll be you know, give some people some insight, because it is for some reason such a like an interest for people around the world, especially in Europe. I find a lot of Europeans do find it quite interesting.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to English with Lucy. Today I'm going to talk to you about 20 British quirks. Lovely word, meaning peculiar aspects in someone's behaviour.
20 British quirks.
Character.
English with Lucy. Come on, Lucy, tell us, darling.
Weird things that British people tend to do. Huge generalisations are going to be made here. I would love for you to let me know in the comment section where you are from, and if you relate to any of these, or if it is the exact opposite where you are from.
Well, I'm from London,
I would like
so
to thank the sponsor
we're in the heart
of today's video, myself. I have sponsored my own video.
Okay. Right, we're gonna jump straight into it. No offense. I'll just jump straight into it. I don't want to. Yeah, she's got all sort of stuff, so make sure you go and follow that out if you guys want to. I don't know what this is, but I want to try to get straight to the points. Right, where's number one? Here we go.
We put carpet in our bathrooms. Not everyone does this, but I am currently living in a house that has a carpeted bathroom, and I will let you know that yes, we have had an overflow situation with that toilet, and in a carpeted bathroom it wasn't pretty. So this is quite an old-fashioned thing to do. We don't tend to do this anymore. But if you go to a house that hasn't been renovated or updated
let him finish,
and then
we'll go
or
on
you
to
go to
number
the
two,
home
we'll
of somebody who is very traditional, then yes, you might find carpet in your bathroom. We've got it here. It wasn't my choice, but it's here. My grandparents have got carpeted bathrooms as well. Number two.
Right, so carpet in bathrooms, I don't know if I didn't really think if that's such a you know, I didn't really think about it. I mean, actually, in most British homes, it's actually true. I have carpet in mine, not that extent, like not the full extent of the whole bathroom. I mean, don't get me wrong, that looks comfy. One of the worst things, I have tiled floors. And we have a shower room and bathroom, so we have two, and we have cutouts of carpet, more like to kind of put your feet on So they're more like mats than carpet, really. So I would say no and yes, but from my own personal experience and from going into people's houses, I mainly experience them having cutouts of carpets or bath mats, and usually having tile floor. So I'm not too sure whether that's exactly true, but you know, everyone's different. So let me know, guys, if you have the same one.
Or updated in a long while, or you go to the home of somebody who is very specific situation. It's something that number 2 is wahey, okay, and this is something that we shout in a very, very specific situation, which is this:
Right.
when somebody smashes a glass in a pub. The whole pub should shout, "Way!" Sorry, I had to re-record that. That was so
God.
loud. Now, I worked as a
right.
waitress for 3 years. I dropped a fair few glasses. We had to carry these drinks on tiny round trays that you had to balance. I couldn't do that, so I've had my fair share of
Way!
in my lifetime. Now, my mother's best friend forgot where she was once, and she did the wahey in Portugal. A restaurant in Portugal, some poor waiter dropped a load of glasses, they smashed everywhere, and there was just my mum's best friend there on her own shouting wahey. Okay, the next one is number 3.
All right, so yeah, no, that is true. That is true. It's more, I was thinking for some reason more on like football games, but no, now she actually kind of explained. I don't know why I thought football games, but no, that is true. Like, and it's not just when they drop glasses, it's like, it's kind of like anything. When someone does something stupid, like they slip up off the floor, you know, anything to do with falling and crashing, everyone's like, way! So no, that is true. I've had my feel. And in regards to her working at a pub, I used to work at a pub when I was 16. I didn't obviously serve drinks, but I would just kind of carry the drinks to the table. I never used to pour it. And yeah, so because I was a waiter, and then when they got stuck on the bar things, I just took the drinks off while they made them and give them to the people. So yeah, that was it was actually hard to balance it. Some of them hold with one hand like this, which is really impressive. One who's had a lot of experiences, but I was held with 2. But plates I could hold 3 up my arm. So no, the wahey though, yeah, that is very, very true.
Which is excitement over fireworks on bonfire night. So on the 5th of November, all around the UK, we have bonfires, we let off fireworks. And we do this because it's the anniversary, the 5th of November, of a failed attempt to blow up, to explode
the Parliament,
the Houses of Parliament. On this event, we burn guys, and these are dummy men used to represent the man who was going to blow up the Houses of Parliament. He was called Guy Fawkes, so sometimes we call it Guy Fawkes Night as well. Now, on this night, or on the evenings surrounding this night, depending when it falls, if it falls on a Monday, then you might have it on the Saturday before, for example, people who have no experience or business dealing with explosives get incredibly excited. They go to fireworks shops, they do them in their garden, and it's just really dangerous. My dad always really enjoyed setting up the fireworks and setting them off in a neighbour's garden. And my mother was always absolutely petrified. She was so scared he was going to get hurt, and rightly so. And one day they played this terrible prank on my mother and all of the other worried wives. They let off a load of fireworks, and then they came screaming, covered with soot, with black ashes all over their face, as if they had had the explosion in their face, and the women went crazy. And they were not best pleased to find out it was all a joke. Number 4.
Yeah, no, that is fucking true. I don't even know what to say. I love firework night. Like, I'm sorry, there's nothing more thrilling than getting a large rocket, launch it in space, and you can feel the explosion in your toes. Like, the ground shakes, and that is actually true. I didn't actually think that everyone, but no, I every 5th of November, I go to the fireworks shops. Obviously, I'm old enough to buy fireworks, and I buy the most I can. I go, what's the most loudest ones, brightful ones, you know, barrages, cakes, rockets, missiles, what are they called? Not wagon wheels, that's chocolate, isn't it? Maybe they're called cartwheels or something like that. The ones that spin around in the tree, they're like one of my favourites. Roman candles, like everything, man. And even little children, I mean, they are quite dangerous, but I always do my own, not my own show, but I kind of set them off, I line it up, and we just kind of have a laugh, and it is really good. You play some music in the garage if you have a garage. Obviously, if you don't have a massive garden, you can put some music on. You have a fire going. You might chuck some potatoes wrapped in tin foil. And chuck them in the fire and leave them right at the bottom, and they cook, and they're actually really, really nice to cook in the fire. But that's dangerous. So I wouldn't recommend you guys do that. But that's something that we've always done. Beans as well. Like it is a really awesome night, and that is so true. I get massively excited for fireworks, and I said that when I'm gonna do one, I'll buy I'll just buy everything. I want to set off everything. I don't know what it is. I thought it was kind of myself, but since you stated it, it does make kind of sense. So. And for anyone who's out there just doesn't know what soot is basically the black stuff that goes up chimneys, and like what you said, it's kind of like the residue of fire and more. I think it's more sort of like smoke when it condenses. It kind of when you have burn marks, isn't it? That's sort of like soot is.
We think that a cup of tea will cure or help at least any bad situation, and a lot of us genuinely believe this. When something bad happens, our first response is, okay, I'll put the kettle on. If somebody's told you some devastating news and you don't know what to say, you can just say, that's awful, do you want a cup of tea? Number 5 is the phrase, oh, go on then.
Oh, yeah, no, that was a short one. I thought it was going to go a bit longer. Let me just find that back quickly. No, that is fucking true. I used to get quite a lot of stick for this, but I don't actually drink tea. I don't like it. I don't mind it. It's really not my preferred. I would have to drink it if I'm thirsty beyond belief. That'd be the only time I really drink it. Reason being, I just don't know what the so hype is about it. I think I don't like sort of it watered down. I like strong drinks. I always like when it's concentrate drinks, juice. Usually people when they put double strength, I actually put quite a lot. I quite like a strong drink. So I'll probably like tea black, like black tea. But I don't think. Yeah, for me personally, I just don't like it. I prefer water. I drink. I've got a bottle of water here. I drink water all the time. But no, that part where she goes, "I'll put the kettle on," is so true. That's why I loved it. It's funny because everyone goes, like, when you have a moody day at work, it's like, "Do you want a tea? Like, do you want a tea? Do you want a tea?" So no, I think as a whole, as British people, yeah, that is 100% to it. They do think it cures. Every time someone's stressed out, it's like, "Oh, I put on a cup of tea." I'm not too sure what they find relaxing. Maybe it's a sweet taste. Maybe it's the history behind it. I'm not too sure. But personally, I don't drink tea. But I know that does happen. So no, that is true.
It's, oh, go on then. Okay, said like this. Oh, go on then. This is something that we say when we are offered something that we know we shouldn't have. For example,
like a biscuit.
A very unhealthy food, or maybe a cigarette or a drink of alcohol. When somebody offers you something naughty or considered to be naughty, go on then. I wonder if you have a similar phrase in your own language. I would love to hear it because I think that's just such a key phrase in our vocabulary. Number 6.
The oh, go on then. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's as popular. It's more just kind of grandfathered in. It's not really something that many people say. It's usually when they say it is when someone goes, "Oh, let's go out," and they go, "Oh, I can't," but this, that, and the other, and then they usually convince them. And they go, "Oh, go on then." So, yeah. Not much really to that.
Colin, the caterpillar cake. Need I say more? Yes, I need to say more so that my viewers understand. Any British person watching this will understand Colin, the caterpillar cake.
Oh, is that the green caterpillar at Sainsbury's as well?
Running through their veins.
Hold on.
Okay. A Colin, the caterpillar cake is a long chocolate roll.
Oh.
I think that's what you call it. It's a roll of cake covered in chocolate with the face of a caterpillar on the end. And if it was your birthday at school, your mum would buy you a Colin the caterpillar cake. It was very easy to slice and lots of slices for all of the children. And if it was your birthday, you got to eat the face. I remember my first Colin the caterpillar cake. I remember being served the face of this cake, and I remember it being disgusting, but I ate it anyway because it was my birthday and because I'd earned it and I'd spent the whole year watching everyone else eat their caterpillar faces. These are typically sold in Marks and Spencer's, a shop here, food shop here, quite a posh food shop here, as far as I'm aware. And if you ever go to a British person's birthday party, I really think you should bring one. It will make them so excited, probably. Number 7,
okay,
something else
that's something, I don't think that's something that we necessarily do. I mean, I have had cat. I thought it was green because again, she might have gone to the to like Marks and Spencers, where most people like go Sainsbury's and Asda's and things like more in where I live, and there are caterpillars and they're green, so maybe that's what that is. But no, I've never had a caterpillar farm. I've been to birthdays, like she says that they have caterpillars, but I think overall it's mainly like SpongeBob or like Ben 10 when you're young. Like you can get customized cakes at Sainsbury's and stuff. So I don't think that's all British people do, but then maybe it's more of the place I live in. So maybe you guys would where you guys live, or maybe in other places of the world as well. Maybe you guys do similar things. So let me know in the comments if you do. If you live in Britain, if you do that same thing. If not, then what you do similarly in your country as well. That'd be interesting.
Ridiculously exciting, way more exciting than it should be. J2Os. I don't know if you have these in other countries, but they are a non-alcoholic juice drink. Not juice drink, okay? That means it's not 100% juice. The most famous flavour is orange and passion fruit. But
or
the
apple
thing
mango.
is, they came in glass bottles that were the same size as beer bottles. So when you were a child and you were at a party, an adult party, you could feel like an adult with a similar beer bottle. Very exciting. I remember taking it a step too far when I was younger and taking my parents' beer bottles that were green, Stella Artois always, and refilling them with apple juice and carrying that around with me, and completely confused when my parents were so angry with me and saying, "No, Lucy, don't do that, don't do that."
You can kind of tell the accent difference between us, can't you? I'm not too sure where she is. If I had to kind of put my finger on it, she'd be slightly more up north, but not northern. You know, the northern accent, she probably goes on it is, but more north than where I am, or like in the Chelsea area of London, which is a very, very, very nice area. So, but I'm trying to figure out where her accent is, but I can't because there's so many different accents. Mine is like more common London. So it's some like syllables at the end of my speech sound like more posh than the rest. I can't really think of different words that do that, but then some people say you've got a very posh accent. So I guess it kind of depends on where you are. But to me personally, from Britain, she's more like a Chelsea, maybe slightly more northern, out of London. I'm not too sure the surrounding areas, but more of the nicer sort of areas.
We also had another drink called Schlur, which was alcohol-free, like a sweet grape juice, fizzy as well. And I felt like such an adult when I had a glass of Schlur at Christmas. Do you have any drinks that you used to have as a child that made you feel grown up? I bet there are.
Okay, no, in regards to J2O, is so true. I mean, J2O is usually used for kids who also go to adult parties as well, and also Christmas. Christmas is a big time in Britain it's quite an important festival. I find a lot of people celebrate it, all the lights come out in the house. It's a really great and positive time. But no, we always have J2Os in our house. We always have apple mango, orange and passion fruit. We have all these standard ones, but no, that is true. A lot of kids and even a lot of adults like the drink as well. About that other one, the slosh or whatever the bloody one she says, that sounds like, I don't know, that sounds like some prison drink. I've never heard that one before. But no, in regards to that is true.
Number 8 is the phrase to pop. Okay? Sounds a bit random.
Oh, right, to pop round or pop over, people in and out, yeah.
Many phrasal verbs. And it's a very warm way of asking somebody to come or go somewhere. Do you want me to pop over? Do you want me to come over? It implies a short amount of time. Why don't we pop down the road for a coffee? Why don't we just quickly go down the road for a coffee? I remember one of my Spanish students in London, they were au pairing for a British family and they were so confused by the word pop, because you can pop around, pop up, pop down, pop over. Just treat it as come and go. Number 9.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of the most many... It's more of a more old-fashioned sort of way of saying it now. It's really phased out. It was more like what elderly people, maybe more mature age of people would say. I think kids my age, even my older brothers who's like in his 30s, don't really say it either. So I think it's more of like into the late 40s, 50s, and sort of from that they'll go, I pop over. Well, they don't really say it like that, but I'm going to pop out. But no, I haven't really. Where I live, including my family, don't really say that. Only my nan used to say it. So no, I would say not everyone, but again, maybe where she lives it does. And if you guys live in certain parts of Britain. Let me know if they say that as well. But I don't think more on the millennial generation from like the 30s, 20s, new teenagers and that sort of era. No, I don't think that really. No one really says that.
British people like to base the entire country's economic state on the price inflation of a frog-shaped chocolate bar called a Freddo. Yes, you heard that correctly. We base our economics on a frog-shaped chocolate bar called a Freddo. When we were young, Freddos were known to be the most affordable chocolate bar. They were a little frog, and they were typically, I think, 10p when I was young. I remember being given £1 to spend on sweets at a party. I could have one big packet of sweets, or I could have 10 Freddos. The logical answer is to go for all of the Freddos. However, every time I see the price of a Freddo rise, I am outraged, and the rest of the nation is too. I'm going to search now. Current price of Freddos. 25p. 25p. So what? Okay, just going to have to pause there. I got so angry about the price inflation of Freddos that I broke my microphone, and the next 3 videos have terrible audio. Damn you, Freddos. That means that I could have bought 10 and now I can only buy 4. That is outrageous.
Okay, no. just no. No, in regards to Freddos was like an iconic sweet when I was younger. Whether we base inflation rates and our economic growth and decline based on a fucking chocolate bar wouldn't surprise me. It's a very British thing to do. Like, I remember getting a video sent to me once ago, and this is the most British thing you could do, is some guy climbed the Shard in London, which is like a big point of glass in London near King's Cross Station, or right on it, I think. Maybe it's Charing Cross, I can't remember which one it is. And some guy just walked up there with a parachute and jumped off and parachuted into the London street, and he goes, "Oh fuck, I did it." And it's like, no, that is most British things. It wouldn't surprise me if we based something so important, because again, it's the view of, I do feel like British society, maybe through films, media, or just sort of maybe over time, again, it's like grandfathered in that British way of life is very rich, very, very nice, very fancy and stuff like that. And to see them base their sort of economic growth, something quite serious, on a fucking chocolate bar is quite a funny thing. So it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe people do that. I don't personally do it. I just look at the statistics. I don't base my figure of the chocolate bar. I thought she was going to say it's like £1.20 or something from 10p. Mate, it was never 10p when I was that young. It was like, I didn't think it was, I think it was like 30p. So I don't know. I don't think that I've never done that. I've never heard my family done. I've never heard people I'm around with go, "Oh, our economy's dropping because just look at the Freddo chocolate bar." No, we usually look at the wage packets, and that's how we see we've got less money. So no, I don't personally agree with that. Maybe they do though. Again, let me know if you're in Britain and you do that. I'd like to know what parts of the country do that. That's kind of interesting, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do, because that's something that we would do.
Okay, number 10, pigs in blankets.
Oh.
We get so excited about this particular food called a pig in blanket. It is a little cocktail sausage wrapped in bacon. And typically we only have them at Christmas. But there's no reason for this. We could have them every Sunday. But if you go to a pub and your Sunday roast comes with a pig in blanket, or some pigs in blankets, it's the best roast ever. We absolutely love them. But we only have them at Christmas. Why is that? Number 11.
No, that is true. Pigs in blanket is basically, it's not necessarily cocktail sausages. They're more like a sort of snack at a party, but actual sausages are smaller ones, and they are wrapped in bacon, hence pigs in blankets, and they are fucking delicious. They are so good. I mean, what we usually do when I'm with my family, they actually get a full-size sausage and a full wrap of bacon and wrap it around and then cook it. Oh, so good. So good. I mean, you do usually have them at Christmas and sometimes Sunday roast, because usually Christmas dinner and Sunday roast are relatively similar.
Is a TV show of people watching TV shows.
Gogglebox.
It's called Gogglebox. I imagine this concept has arrived in other countries now. They basically film families watching the TV highlights.
They watch them react.
And then they compile their
Who would do that?
And then we watch them. It's a very good programme. It's very meta. Number 12.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch Gogglebox. I wouldn't want to sit there and watch sort of other people react to shows. I would watch reactions of like music videos and games like what I do, but no, I would never watch other like sort of I wouldn't watch shows per se. I might react to like Gordon Ramsay swearing at a bunch of people, like a compilation or something funny, like sort of a clip, but not watching all shows. I don't understand that, but I know my family has actually done that in the past, but no, I've never done that before.
12. Dog poo in Facebook groups. Okay, in the UK,
What?
and I imagine in lots of places in the world, we have Facebook groups for our local community. So I'm in quite a few of the surrounding villages and towns. And there is a new phenomenon, and it is the people that are getting so frustrated with people not picking up their dog poo, especially if it's on someone's property or on their front lawn. People are taking pictures of the dog poo and posting it in these community groups. I don't know about you, but I normally check my phone for the first time in the morning when I'm about to take my first bite of breakfast, normally porridge, and to have porridge approaching my mouth, opening my phone and seeing a massive dog poo is just not ideal. So now people are rebelling against the dog poo posters, and there's just huge civil unrest online at the moment. Those who want to shame the dog poo leavers and those who want to shame the dog poo posters. It's very complex. I hate dog poo. It's absolutely horrendous, but I also don't want to see it all over my Facebook timeline. I've seen enough. We know it's a problem. Number 13.
I don't know about that one. I mean, no, in regards to the dog poo stuff, it is a problem. Like, dog shit is fucking all over, and people get mad, bro, if they see you leave it. Like, they get wild. I mean, they shouldn't really leave it anyway, but it's like they've committed murder, and it is pretty bad. And I have stepped in dog shit loads of times, but I mean, in regards to the Facebook groups, there are obviously communities who have their own community, but obviously because there's different boroughs of London, there's many different boroughs of London. They're very, very different. They're very, very different. Like, you go from one borough to the next, it's like walking into a different country sometimes. It's very, very different. You know, not just like the sort of cultural surroundings. There's different accents, different types of people, different ways of life. So there's very, very different, and that's what I like about Britain. There's like, you go up north, it's totally different to what it's like down south. You go fully down south, like Devon and places like that, it's completely different to what it's like in the centre. You know, and they're all very, very different. Now, in regards to, I don't follow any of my community sort of stuff. It's always I tell you what's on my community, because I know there are people who are on it who I talk to, and they usually post stolen things. And I had a family member who had his bike stolen once, and one of his friend's mothers posted on the community page of the bike, the video recording, and basically got the person on camera saying, "We've got you. We're going to go to the police unless you brought it back." And they brought it back. So no, I do think the community gate's great. Whether they do the dog shit, I think that's more in areas that are more tightly knitted. I think maybe communities. I don't think where I live is more like of theft and stealing and stuff like that. That does happen quite often, especially bikes, mopeds, motorbikes, pedal bikes, scooters. Things are easily nicked, especially from kids. They yeah, that seems to be the thing. But dog poo, not really.
13. Drinking in rounds. Okay. When we go on a night out with a group of friends, we drink in rounds, which means if there are 5 of us, instead of everyone buying their individual drinks, one person will buy 5 drinks, and the next person will buy 5 drinks. I'm sure many of you are aware of this concept. I'm sure it has a different name where you're from. But the very British thing to do is to shout, "Whose round is it?" when you know exactly whose round it is. And you just are trying to make them actually buy their round, because there are a lot of people who will participate in rounds, wait till last and hope that they won't actually have to buy that round, thus escaping with a lot of free drinks and a very full wallet, and it's very annoying. Now, we can be considered quite passive aggressive. So instead of saying, "It's your round, go and buy your round," just shouting, "Whose round is it?" is a much easier way to avoid confrontation. However, my fiance, he said at university there was one guy who was so bad at buying or paying for his fair share of drinks that they actually grabbed him, marched him to an ATM, a bank, took his card out and forced him to take out the money. Some people are just what we would call here tight. If somebody's tight, they don't like spending a lot of money. Number 14.
No, in regards to the drink things, I think again that's a very maybe more of the posher way of things. I think, in my opinion, he probably used to be quite. It's a bit of a sort of a what's the word I'm looking for? Stereotype. I think in regards to pubs, it doesn't really happen anymore. And I've never had. Whenever I've gone out with friends, we all buy our own drinks. That's it. Simple as that. We don't pay for others. We might help each other out if we know that one can't afford it and stuff, and just buy one or two. Everyone chips in. So no, never do this sort of buy the rounds. If we are going to do stuff like everyone has to drink and we're doing like challenges and stuff, we call it we're going to get fucking shit faced. That's what it's called in the local areas. Usually buy pictures of cocktails, big pictures, and just old memories coming back. But no, we don't do the. I don't. Well, where I live, we don't do that anymore. Maybe you guys do. And again, let me know in the comments if you do and where that specifically is in Britain and in other countries. If you do that as well, let me know.
We can't always be bothered to use an umbrella. It rains so often that unless it is absolutely pummeling it down, I don't mind getting a bit wet. I remember when I was in Spain, the minute the first drop hit anyone's hair, they would whip out their umbrella. Everyone had it, everyone knew the weather. I just never knew how people kept track of whether it was going to rain that day or not, but it was more of a rare occasion there. And it's very, very common here. So I did used to walk into my classrooms soaking wet sometimes, just, normal.
I don't know about that one. I mean, if you go to the capital, if you go to your maybe city, but especially in London, in the really heart of London, sort of like Trafalgar Square and stuff like that, I don't really see many people wielding umbrellas. I mean, you do, but that is partly true, I guess. I mean, people. I don't think people want to get wet. I don't think it's necessarily a case of because it's rained so much. I think it's just a case of they can't be bothered to take an umbrella, not because they're okay to get partly wet. If that makes sense, it's just more of lugging around an umbrella because the weather's more unpredictable. They say it's gonna snow and then it fucking suns out. They say it's gonna rain and it snows, and it's like, the weather's not really trustworthy. It's very, very unpredictable, and it's quite affected by a lot of countries around. Like when there's a heat surge from other countries, Britain suffer the most because then when it's bloody cold, we suffer the most from it as well. So it's a very in the centre sort of like gets abused by other sort of not necessarily nations but other countries, tropical weather and stuff like that. It usually brushes into us, and because we're not used to it, it does. People get, it is crazy. And sometimes it gets so hot in Britain because we're so not used to it. You can't use your outdoor taps, like hoses and stuff, because they need to save the water. And actually, you could get fined for it. Obviously, people probably don't even care, but that does kind of happen. So no, I don't think it's because they're okay and because there's so much rain. It could be a case. I think it's more in the sense of they just can't be bothered to lug it around because it's rains sometimes. It's too unpredictable. But again, it might be different from where people are.
Number 15. We don't put fridges in the eggs. Wrong. Number 15. We don't always put our eggs in the fridge. I don't know if this is weird for you. I remember going abroad and seeing fridges in the eggs. Fridges in the eggs. I remember going abroad and seeing eggs in the fridges. I remember some fridges arriving with egg holders. I thought that was so weird. No, I like a nice room temperature egg. Oh yes. Why does that sound like an innuendo? 16.
No. Our eggs are always in the fridge. Again, it might be a bit different, but where I am, well, you can't really tell in society because everyone's different, like more in communities. I mean, because everyone obviously different. Eggs from my family, we always stick them in the fridge. Anything to do with meat, poultry, stuff like that. It's even milk, butter, all of it. Always, obviously, especially butter because it can melt. But like milk, I've seen some people leave milk out. It's like it's disgusting. No, so eggs always goes in the fridge. Yeah. Just you're not going to sit there when the egg's hot and cooked and go, fuck, I'm so happy that this one was room temperature because it's cooked. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know about that one. I don't think so, especially not with my family. Maybe you guys' family do abroad and in Britain as well, so let me know.
Goes without saying, we are obsessed with the weather. Even if it's so boring, it's slightly grey and windy today. We will tell you that. It's a bit grey and windy, isn't it? It does change so much that it is quite entertaining. Sometimes we don't have that much in our lives to talk about, so the weather is just a really good one to go for. Number 17.
I don't know about that one. Again, in the past years, probably since 2016, since obviously all the political downfall of Brexit, and it's been absolutely chaos since that point. I don't think the weather is that probably more happens when there's not much going on or where you live, not much happens. Again, where I live, there's a lot of, not necessarily problems. It's not a bad area, but there's a bit more things to talk about, more important things to talk about, like, services, what's going on with hospitals and stuff like that, more than talk about the weather. But I can see where it's come from. I have heard people talk about it before, but for me personally, no, I don't think I've experienced that before.
Scone or scone? Okay, this is the conundrum. And actually, there's a part 2 to this conundrum.
I always say scones.
There is a baked good, which I call a scone, but other people call it a scone. And there's a big fight, a big divide in the UK about whether it is a scone or a scone. I don't want to get involved in that. I'm not going to say scone is wrong, but I do prefer scone. Scone! Damn it! The other part of this conundrum is the order in which you put toppings. Typically, we serve scones or scones with jam and clotted cream. They are absolutely to die for. If you come to the UK, make sure you have an afternoon tea with scones or scones. Now, I always put clotted cream first, then jam, but some people will swear you have to put the jam first, then the clotted cream. I'm not going to tell you which is right. You're just going to have to try it out for yourself, but I think logistically, cream first, then jam.
No, it's always, that's, again, when I used to stream on Twitch, people used to say, I use scones and crumpets. But scone, like, no, it's scone. I don't really know. Who fuck cares? But no, that is partly true, like, in the sense of, like, I can understand that people, again, with more areas that are a bit more, I wouldn't say less affected, but again, probably not as not connected with certain parts of life. Again, in London, it's the heart of everything. So then it probably fades out slightly, not completely. If every borough has their own problems and stuff, but I do think in London areas they are very more caring about sort of, again, problems going on. But I can see actual British people doing that, actually having a problem again when there's not much else to talk about, not much problems going on. But in regards to like scones, it is a thing. If you ever do come to visit London or the UK, there is a shopping mall, very 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 expensive shopping mall called Harrods. People may have heard of it. It's where very very rich people go, very posh people go, celebrities, all that other good stuff. And you have to even to go in to the shopping mall, you have to be dressed nice. You can't go in there with just normal clothing, even jeans. I think you have to go in there maybe a suit or formal clothing. And I've heard stories because I had family members go there for lunch and they had scones, jam, and clotted cream. But I personally like it. I've tried one scone. It's not very nice. I'm not huge on the sort of dessert style, like those sort of things. I like jam. I like quite clotted cream, especially clotted cream milkshakes are very very nice. But yeah, in regards to what she was saying about the connotation of between the two words, mine's is scones. Personally, I think it sounds much easier. Where scone, it just, I don't know, it doesn't. I usually go off what it looks like.
We are terrible at ending conversations. Honestly, this is the most annoying thing ever. There is a huge culprit of this, and it is my fiance Will. Typically, when we want to end a conversation,
of course, her fiance's called
we
Will.
will say, right, and kind of, I need to be heading off, or I must get a move on, or I need to get going. But for some reason, some people really struggle with this. And when you have two people that struggle with ending conversations coming together, well, you could just go on for eternity. It's really, really troubling.
Right.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Come and say hello. Admit to your problem. This is Will.
Fucking hell, he's a giant, bro.
You know your problem. You're almost perfect.
Was it ending conversations?
It was ending conversations.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
It's fine if you're talking to someone who can end the conversation, but it's when you are with another person that also finds ending conversations difficult.
Well, it's nice to get out, isn't it?
Yeah, lockdown
It's a tough
problem.
year for everyone.
Again,
Right.
it's the accent, bro.
Cool.
It's different.
Number 19, we really...
Yeah, in regards to ending the conversation, that's true. I'm one of those people. I don't particularly like ending the conversation because I just like talking all the time, especially when it comes to like gaming, or it's more specifically like story based. Because that is one of my passions, is stories and stuff like that. I can talk for hours about stories and about potentials, different point of views, stuff like that. Stuff I actually care about, I can talk for hours. Not particularly because I want to. There are cases where I want to go, but then I just go like I let them finish and go, look, bro, I'd love to stay and talk, but I really need to get going. So why don't you hit me up and we'll talk about this more if I'm actually interested in it. If I'm not, I was like, oh, bro, I need to go. So again, I think it kind of depends on where you are. But no, that does kind of happen in London as well, and between strangers sometimes. Like some people just talk randomly on a train and they don't ever stop. But I think it's because if they go, oh, don't really you can't really say I don't want to talk because you're sitting right next to them. You have to usually have a reason like, oh, I gotta go. So if you're getting off a train, oh, it's really nice talking to you, I gotta get off now, bye. But if you can't, you have to sit and just talk to them. And some people just go, yeah, and you just have these people that just continuously bombard you with like constant chit chat. So no, I do understand that.
He overused the word sorry. This was further solidified in my mind last night. We watched Bridget Jones, and there was the scene where Mark Darcy or Colin Firth and Hugh Grant were fighting, and they were knocking over things on people's tables in a restaurant, and they were still apologising. We just can't help it. I find myself apologising for apologising too much. Number 20.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is so true. As everyone, I think. It's like if you bump into someone, it's instantly sorry. Like, oh, so sorry. It's like if you don't even hear something right, it's like sorry. It's like, yeah, no, that is very true. It's like if you sometimes even like if you go to a shop, as I've experienced sometimes, and they don't have something, the person who wants it goes sorry. Like, and that is actually true. It's like, oh, sorry for asking. It's like I should have known that. No, I do understand that. It's true.
Final weird thing that British people do is consume a lot of pre-made sandwiches. It's a bit of a random one, but there is something very exciting about going on a short car journey and stopping off for lunch. And lunch is a pre-made sandwich in a box. You can get them from petrol stations, or you can get them from supermarkets. I know Tesco does something called a meal deal, where for a certain amount of money you get a sandwich, a snack and a drink, and people absolutely love it, and they try to get the most value.
Yeah, I've been to M&S for that before.
They say you can tell a lot about a person from what they choose.
Chicken salad, BLT,
but,
bang.
I've travelled to a couple of countries and I've never seen the sheer amount of options for pre-made sandwiches that we have in the UK. It's crazy. Every flavour, every filling, so creative as well. Prawn is my favourite. Prawn mayonnaise, absolutely love it. The Christmas range is in full swing at the moment. We have turkey stuffing sandwiches, awesome. I saw a duck l'orange sandwich the other day. I wouldn't say it's something I recommend. Actually, if you want to have a British experience when you come over to the UK, go to a petrol station, buy a sandwich, then you will feel like a Brit. Right. On that note, that's the end of today's lesson. I have got the full transcript of this video with important vocabulary.
Okay, yeah, that was actually quite interesting. I didn't really think about it because, again, I think living in the city, and I mean, I don't even live fully in the city. I live on the outskirts, but it's the city compared to a lot of people. In regards to that last one, no, that is true. Like, I always love Sainsbury's sandwiches, and like I don't really care where it's from. Co-op is very nice as well. Like, you can get chicken sandwich ones. You can get like salad. You can get, like you said, especially the Christmas range. You get like cranberry. You get turkey stuffing, dark orange, stuff like that. I personally like BLT, ham and cheese, straight ham, bacon, and chicken salad. They're my favourite ones. I don't particularly go out and seek my way because it never really fills me up. But I have done it before, especially when I was a young kid, when I used to go on, like when I was in the Air Cadets and I used to go out and do stuff. It was always like 2 sandwiches or a sandwich or so. Yeah, so that part's true. But I actually quite enjoyed that, guys. I found that really fun to watch. I don't know why. I mean, it's just sitting there listening to someone just talking about different British stuff. But it does make you think, like, about the Freddo one. That confused the hell out of me. But again, now I actually think about it, we do stupid shit. Like, we do moan about that stuff. But in regards to a lot of what she said, from where I live personally, in the outskirts of London and on the insides, it is very, very different environment. like I've got family members who are down south in the Devon area. I've got people up north in Great Yarmouth, or like Western Knees sort of area. But anyway, if the way we usually sort of do like what we do on is like north and south, and there's no like east or west. It's just north or south, like these lines. And so if you hear me south north, and it probably is more west, but that's north. That's what we always say. So it's like if you've got the tip of London, draw a line all the way through, and it's like anything in this sort of area is all north. But no, I've got people like Great Yarmouth and stuff like that, and they're very different ways of life. Like restaurants close at 5 p.m. It's like that makes no sense. You know, restaurants are closed here till 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes like 24 hours, especially like fast foods, but more specifically like restaurants. So I do think London life, and in regards to people obviously coming to visit Britain, I think it's just like anywhere. You know, it's very different from what you think it is. As always, I think if you want the truth about London, there are parts of areas in the current state that are not the greatest to go down, and I think London is being run quite poorly. There's a lot of problems going on in London at the minute, and it is quite sad because it used to be a very, very nice city. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a nice city. If you go to the centre of London, like again Trafalgar Square, you go to King Cross Station, Charing Cross Station, those sort of areas. I wouldn't say Soho, but Soho sort of. It's very nice at night. The nightlife in London is absolutely beautiful. You go to Big Ben, Houses of Parliament, the London Eye, those sort of places. It's beautiful. But there are some, just like every city, there are some bad areas, but I do find there are quite a few problems at the minute. But that shouldn't deter you from going to London. It's not like you step out and just something's going to happen to you. It's not like that. I'm just saying it could probably be 1,000 times better if it was probably run properly, in my opinion. So in regards to what she was saying, yes, some of it no, and some of it a little bit different. So let me know what you guys think, though, if you're in different parts of England, even if you're in London. Let me know what your experience is, because again, like I say, every small sort of place, most people, it's like the whole country's almost the same. When in Britain, it's like almost every bloody chapter of the country, for me, I can't think of the right word now, boroughs are all different. It's very, very strange. So let me know what you guys think. Whether you happen in your own countries, whether it happens in Britain's, and if you want to express your own opinion down below, then you're free to. So that's it for me today, guys. That's going to be our first episode of the Brit Reacts. We're definitely going to be doing some more, and hopefully we might do some history. We might do some road rage, you know, might do some more of the political side of things. If you guys are interested in anything like that, please let me know if you are interested, and I'll try and give my own perspective of what it's like. So yeah, make sure you go and sub to this person's channel. Make sure you go and watch the video. I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, that's it for me today, guys. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and comment down below if you want to add your own thing. If you want to, you know, recommend any videos, I'll be very, very looking forward to hearing you guys' thoughts. But that's it for me today, guys. This is White Boy Reaction. Sign off this video. Until the next one, have a really good rest of your day. I'll see you later. Peace out. Kabam. Take care, guys.